slash kids when they saw this increase. Sorry, gotta go. Double G, double P. Sorry.
Fortnite, let's go. I get it all night for show. I'm on a Fortnite, let's go. I get it all night.
Incredible plays that were made, but seriously, mad props to Peter Pan.
The plays that are being made.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Right now,
Excuse me.
because
These are
Brazil
live
is going.
right now.
Yes, Brazil is going live. So we want to make sure, as is full spirit for the Fortnite World Cup, this is a global event. If you're able to connect, you're able to play and get on in there. So we wanted to cover some of the guys from Oceania, cover some of the guys from Asia, give them spotlight, give them some of the gameplay, because it is very diverse and different. But now, before NA East really gets on going, we're going to hop into some of the Brazil matches, give them some screen time, because honestly, Brazil has been balling out recently, just going in and looking at the number of players and the requirement in terms of the points to get in tomorrow. I'm telling you, Brazil has only been going up. And you say, I know your line is, everybody's sleeping on these regions. Straight up,
right.
I think people are sleeping on Brazil. Brazil is going to keep pushing. And the one thing about this region, typically, from an esports like kind of historical perspective, is they're a little slower onto the scene at first. It takes a while for a game to kind of get in there, populate through, and people to start playing it.
Right.
Once a game gets a hold, they go nuts. Absolutely, like they love it, and they are solid, and you always see them pressing forward, innovating, trying new things. And then more importantly, when you do get the cream of the crop and then they get onto that international stage, they can turn heads. And right now, that's what Gaelic is trying to do. Sitting there, getting an angle, has a triple weapon, one utility explode, whatever that is.
Those were grenades.
Oh, okay.
The utility.
It does damage to the opponent, right?
Yeah, but it's still a utility item.
Got it.
It is not a rocket-propelled utility explode.
Okay.
It's interesting how you use both of those
I
words
still think
together.
you're wrong now. But you can see Gaelic opting to rotate right out through the middle. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Jonesies, Bonesies, and everyone in between. No, not Shadow Bomb, just straight impulses. T-Smoke going down. I know you see a lot of players more than usual walking out in the open. Vehicles have been disabled for today. The call was made due to a bug where players would get stuck in it and unable to interact. Again, that's relatively impacting, say if you're stuck out in the open in a driftboard or a quad while rotating through. And with the amount that competitive players hop in and out of the bug, or out of the vehicles, this bug was starting to see at a much higher rate. So wanted to make sure none of those interactions happen today, as now we get into the top 25, which does, you get 3 points for your problem, but Shamu sends you back.
That's right. Don't forget, guys, top 15 is the next placement threshold we're looking to hit. Simu up on the high ground now. Gaelic, we just watched him not that long ago, not too far below, but still safely being protected by his 1x1. 22 players remain. We see Gaelic in the elimination feed for just a moment. Found another elimination as well. So Simu here opting to run drum gun and AR. This is for that first shot accuracy. Some players want to do that instead of running double drum gun. That first shot accuracy is still very important to some of these players, and I like that.
I think it's huge if you're in positions like Sam was trying to get
advantage
when
of,
you,
right?
when you have just, this is probably right outside of the effective range on all those players who want to rotate. Like, you aren't going to, like, yes, if you get a bead on one of those gliding players with the drum, you'll rip them apart. But getting that initial bead on them is so difficult to then keep the spray going on that you're starting to see some of the players opt to keep that AR. I know Stompy was doing that a solid amount yesterday, keeping his first shot accuracy rifle and making sure he had that, because it is so key for him picking up eliminations on those rotations.
Simo here still with 7, looking to find more. He's hunting a player, finds
that was not
That's not the actual one.
That's not Mr. Savage. Has his Brazilian counterpart going over there. Probably a little more sun-kissed rather than the boy out of the UK. I know they don't.
Oh, no! No, Simo, are you?
No, it's okay.
He's got glider redeploy. Oh!
Yeah, you need to not panic.
Why? These shots are so good.
Well, we had just been following him. We were good.
Listen, all right? I get so into it, I forget for just a moment. Calm down.
To be fair, anytime I see somebody fall, I get like the little sense of vertigo, because like one of my biggest fears is like falling. I'm not afraid of heights. Let me be clear. I really like heights. Like, I like being in a high place, but like falling from heights, terrifying for me. So like just jumping through the open air, then watching these players pull the glider redeploy last second, get a little bit of butterflies in there. But now, Simu giving these guys a little bit of butterflies as he's on the high ground and just ripping down shots with that drum gun has 357, so definitely above that comfortable level. We say about 100 medium bullets is comfortable in terms of if you're rocking the drum gun, that gives you the 2 drums, which generally allows you to be pretty effective. And now Simu working his way top down, opting to run with that tac shotgun as well.
What if? I mean, look, I don't want to say this because I'm scared of a caster curse. What if Simu just like closes out this game and picks up everyone else in this game? That would be insane, right? Because I mean, like, I say that because he's like already on a tear, and you get into these like moments where you're so confident. You can just tell by the way he's moving, like not opting to build because he's conserving mats because he knows no one's above. I mean, look at this. He's just
that's
clinical.
2. I mean, that's 2 out of 5 so far. So
Okay. All right. This is like when me and Pooks yesterday were trying to predict things happening.
I wouldn't quite say that.
You're right, because yesterday was better. Today, more focused. But
Yesterday you were flying blind and predicting it rather than looking at the leaderboard before making the prediction, but it's okay.
I mean, okay, weird flex, but okay.
I mean, I'm not trying to flex. I'm just letting you know.
Listen, all right, I don't know that much. I'm trying to update it right now because now I need to know. But Simu is on a tear as we speak. Players down below, remember, Victory Royale, we just hit top 5. That's the next round of placement points, so 7 points total going to these players. Victory Royale is the next one. Gaelic going down. We tune into him first, and now he gets shut down 1v1 right now. Simu's got the drum gun. Okay.
So you've got all players but 1. So close with the prediction going out there, Zeke, as he was able to end up closing that one out. But great work with the control, working top down, showing that he had that assault rifle for kind of that mid-range to long-range transition circles. And then as soon as it all kind of zoop and closes in, right over the drum gun, pop, 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 pop. And you see those 50+ damage headshots, as soon as you get a bead on someone, that's real rough.
Yeah, they just completely chew through your health bar. Now, Nick's here. I mean, listen, what can we say about the W7M boys? Every single one of them is unbelievable. Nick's, blackouts, DK outs. I believe, if I remember correctly, Nick's is already qualified. Okay, Jared,
him and PF's qualified for duos. They have
correct.
not qualified for solos. Nick's was the wire-to-wire leader in week 1. But right at the very end, in the very last match, he got it taken away from him. But the young 14-year-old from Brazil, representing the Bills now, dropping down into the box and then immediately re-jumps up, disengages. And this is one kind of small little thing players haven't quite necessarily picked up on. I think is going to be the next big evolution for players to like kind of push themselves up. How to disengage intelligently and then full reset the fight. Not like, oh, I just got away and got to another box. Get far enough away or make your opponent so disinterested that they're no longer engaging with you. Also, when we say Brazil is stepping it up, this is an early point game. There's 43 people left in this 5th circle moving in. So props to Brazil, playing for late, trying to maximize their points. Really like what I'm seeing out of them.
I mean, we are also halfway through the competition, right? So a lot of these players are ready. You know, they're like, I have to do everything I can to try and make the World Cup finals. And it shows, you know, this region continues to evolve every single week, constantly upping the ante. Just like you said, once they get it, they go nuts. And that's exactly what we're seeing here. Down on the Logan, though, we see Rafts in his 1x1 protected. No eliminations, only a handful of magazines for both weapons. I'd be curious to see what that middle item is. Again, just a small visual bug there. But he's just trying to keep himself safe. Exactly like you said, right? He wants it. Placement. Look, we're still at 40 players. Nothing has changed. All right, we're in Storm Circle 6.
And it's about to move over. You can see there in the bottom right-hand corner. This is when engagements are going to be forced, moving across Salty Spring. And you see Rafts checking himself in the cones, trying to find an angle, and now he turns and peeks, looking for players, moving along the backside of the storm, finds Eastlock right away, and now he's dropping down, looking to get into this fight. He wants to get some part of those materials, but no, instead, he finds NCAT Spoosh, and then he's gonna keep running forward. However, the player intelligently flooring off behind him. Rain gets picked up by Papita. You see Ian Viking over in the storm as well. Kyle Kilkenny, hey, that's mean, don't do that. You can see there now as Lechandro rotates through the high ground as 2, 3, 4 more players fall over to the storm, and we get our top 25, so everyone getting at least 3 points for their trouble. Nick's being built up on, but has a little help from the side as he's now going to drop out and challenge Lechandro and take sole control of high ground, but he's not having it. He's dropping right down, doesn't want to be up that high, wants to close the distance a little bit and be close enough to interact with these guys.
I mean, Nyx, we've seen so many replays out of this guy. He's ready to challenge anyone. The moment you step to him and say, let's go, he's like, I'm already one step ahead of your friend. I'm already got the ramp going. I'm already 90ing. Let's do this. We see the RPG coming out on the offensive here. Drum gun going out. He's trying to isolate this player. I like this. And like you mentioned before, still isolating highest ground, and we just hit top 15. Top 5 is the next round of placement threshold. Look at this guy. He knows exactly where he is.
Right, he should just let that player box in there. He actually freed that player who shadow bombed out to rotate away. He had been boxed in, didn't have an edit, so slightly awkward there. Maybe just wanted to make sure he got the elim, but picks up Nubizera as we get closer to that top 10. Nyx now, great side hop to get the high ground back. Looks like there wasn't even a contest there.
I love those little, like, if you know what you're looking for and when those things happen, you think that is dope, that's one of those things. Being able to take high ground with just a simple side hop there.
Yeah, because you don't expect him to change that angle and then jump out, and he picks up Siba as well, and you can see him constantly peeking. He's looking for other players, not just looking to rotate himself, staying on the backside of the storm. You have Deltado 03 down to barely a whisper of effective HP, but it's enough to get him into the top 5 as Nyx gets dropped down. Boogie bombs on the low ground, and Enrique Wonder picks up 2 as TS MRs in, goes down, and Totado gets tapped with the slightest breeze. Nyx picks up Lucas, and we have a 1v1. Enrique in the bottom right, Nyx in your top right, Nyx on 10 elims, Enrique on 4. Will Nyx be able to close it out? He wants revenge. He wants his solo qualification spot. Wants to be the first from South America to qualify for both. And now he's going to the skies. Quickly takes high ground away from Enrique. Edits through. Dominates him. Enrique was looking to disengage. He wanted nothing to do with that. But Nyx wanted everything to do with him.
That was one of those moments, kind of like you talked about, when you can think back to your playground 1v1s, right? Like you saw, it was almost like a switch. Like the player for a single moment had taken one tarp above, and then immediately he just kicks it on, goes up, edits through as they're trying to shadow bomb because they're like, whoa, wait, hold on, I need to just get myself to safely, and then immediately sends them back to lobby. Huge pickup from Nyx. Congrats. We're going to move on to the next game, though. Live kill here, 1 elimination, 30 players in the current lobby. We're hopping in circle 5. If you're just tuning in, welcome. Hope you've had an incredible Sunday, and happy Mother's Day. If you're just tuning in, let's get you up to speed. Top 25, top 15, top 5 in Victory Royale are all those placement thresholds, with every elim being a single point. So, and don't forget, guys, this is finals. We're here in week 5. This is it. This is another opportunity for these players to try and qualify for New York.
Yep, and we're currently down in South America playing on the Brazil server region. However, players from all over South America representing. I know there's a lot of Argentinians out there. 9Z been representing well up on that leaderboard. We can see right now Lykel trying to get an angle, and he does. 9X being picked up there, as if you see in the bottom right-hand corner, tons of gliders coming in as launch pads and rifts are utilized on this long rotation because everybody wants to be inside that top 25, need to get the 3 points. A lot of players consider it a waste if you're not getting at least inside that top 25. As we hop on board with STV, XX Shot, XX. Still rocking the X's. It's 2019, man. Come on, you can do better.
Says X Sundown over here.
You know, you're not wrong.
Marquito there, and another 1x1 just across the way. We've seen tracers go all over the place as players are trying to catch them on the rotation there. Just like you said, trying to use those community launch pads, get in safety. We're about to hit top 25. Everyone eliminated at this point is going to miss out on those valuable placement points. 3 on the table. And now look where we're going. We're moving alongside this mountain. So if you're on the edge, it won't be too bad. But if you're like on the inner edge alongside that mountain, you're going to face a little bit of terrain. Not too much, though. Just got to get there before everyone else. Make sure you don't get boxed out. Now take a look at the current loadout, though. Combat, Compact, and the AR.
Yeah, he has such a great angle on the rest of the lobby, and the Storm has to rotate pretty much directly over him. So he's going to try and get a window to take some shots right here. Gets a little bit of fall damage, and then picks up Benja right there with some good shots, putting him into that top 25, as you talked about now. and he's looking. Like I said, the rest of the lobby's going to have to rotate in front of him, has his back to the mountain so the players above aren't threatening. This is just a veritable fire range. You can see him trying to find that Shadow Bomb player. Not going to be enough as Davi picks up Digo on the high ground. Sino Te Amo rotating through with the Shadow Bomb as Neath and Solino also go out. Marquito takes the Shadow Bomb. And I mean, without the ballers here, we see a ton of players getting picked in these rotations that necessarily might not have been before, or they're being forced to burn mats, or they're being forced to burn their Shadow Bombs for purely rotational method rather than being aggressive or being able to disengage as Shot works through and finds a great combat shotgun. And we're seeing so much more of the combat shotgun today, Zeke.
That's right. I think players are maybe still acclimating to the weapon and the kind of utility of it. Showager, we had him on the show yesterday, and he had a great breakdown saying currently, as it stands, it's more of like a medium to a little bit close range weapon, whereas attack, you just want to be in their face, sending shots out. With the combat, you can, there's similar rates of fire, but you can take those shots from a little bit further away from that medium range and still be able to close the gap, continuing to put out those shots, putting out the damage. Blackouts, we talked about before, another W7M boys, 6 eliminations and currently sitting on the high ground.
Yep, working his way top down. We've seen him and his duo partner DK Outs pop off not only in duos, but also in solos as well. You can see now Blackouts, again, this W7M always going for the side hops, trying to find the high ground whenever they can.
You like to see the mechanical skill of this group. Definitely showing here. Look at all these players, though. I always say this: if you have to rotate alongside a mountain, please get there early. Make the early rotation. The lobby is cut in almost half as Blackouts looking to black out this lobby, sitting on the highest ground. 6 players total, 5 he needs to cut through. Someone tries to challenge him, and he says, "Not today, friend. Go back to lobby." And look at this. He's doing what I said. Just get there early. Look at everyone else still on this lowest ground. They can continue to tunnel if they need to. We see a player there making the edit there. 3 players. We were at what, 25 players just about between that 15 range, cut all the way down to 3.
Yeah, we saw that in the first game as well. We went from 40 to 22 to 8 just in the span of 2 rotations, making it that much more difficult. Players either being forced to burn their utility, and the players in the prime high ground or in the front of the storm are making great work of it. Now Skullblaze uses his second to last Shadow Bomb to reposition, but now Blackouts getting aggro, dropping down to Stink, forcing the player out, got some tags onto Skull, who's now gonna have to disengage. Blackouts into top right, trying to go forward with the drum, down to only 19 medium ammo in it now as Skullblaze has his turn to go rat-tat-tat-tat. Not gonna find it though as Jovim cracks him absolutely back with that combat. Jovim might have been able to get himself some room, but no, Blackouts picks that one up, is in a controlling position. Despite not having the high ground, has literally everything else as an advantage right now. Effective HP, has the shotgun where Blaze is limited to just the spray, and that's going to be it. He was tagged with a stiff breeze and went down. Only had the 11 HP to speak of, but like we said, we see all of these Bulls players from W7M getting so aggressive. Brazil showing up. I mean, it's been great to watch so far. Kitty, what do you think?
Hey guys, wow, what an insane